back, everybody. Back in the Skyline. Today's video, we're going to be going over everything that I've done to the car thus far. The season's kind of coming to an end here in Michigan. We're in September now. It's chilling off. Weather's unpredictable. So I just kind of wanted to make like a little wrap-up video, a little summary, and also talk about the R32 turbo upgrade. Take you guys for a little drive and just talk about everything I've done, what I think of everything, what my future plans are, and just kind of go from there. So let's get on with it. So as we're leaving the neighborhood here, I'll just kind of tell you where we're at with the car, what's been done to it. So basically, I'm not going to go in any particular order of when things were done or, ranking of what I think was most worth it. But I have a Pepsi air filter, just a little pod on there. It's not the best, but for the noises and how cheap it is, I'd say it's a pretty good value. I do eventually want to get a aluminum intake that leads straight to the turbo, get a little bit better flow, enhance the noises as well. Along with the flow of things, I have a ISR catless downpipe, and then a Tomei Extreme TI full titanium cat back, and the Tomei decat pipe as well. I don't know why I said catless downpipe. The cat is after the downpipe on this, obviously I already mentioned I have the RB20, and I put the RB25 turbo on here. I'm not exactly sure which gen or whatnot it is specifically, but I did that upgrade to it as well. For the suspension, I'm on BC Racing coilovers. My wheels are Anki Kojins, and then tires are just some cheap, I don't even know the name of them. But that's where we're at so far with the car. Another thing that I forgot to mention on the car, silly me because I did it pretty recently, is the Cube Speed short shifter. That was a really nice thing that I did for the car. But anyways, as I come down this first little back road here, not much of a driving road, but just smoother roads, better views for us. I'm going to start talking about what I think of everything that I've done to the car so far. So first up, I'll start with the intake. Obviously, I'm not really expecting any sort of power jumps or anything like that. The main reason I did it was just for all the turbo sounds that you get out of them. In which case, for that, I'd say it's worth it. Obviously, it's going to flow a little bit better, but the main reason you'd be doing an intake would be for the sounds that you get out of it. So for that, I would say the value hits the mark there. I really would like to learn how to weld and weld up my own aluminum intake pipe. That would just make the noises louder, look better in the engine bay, etc. Moving on, the ISR downpipe, the decat pipe, and the cat back. I love Tomei exhausts, honestly. I'm not even going to beat around the bush there. I think the Tomei exhaust, if your car has one, get it. They sound phenomenal. They're super light. They look great on almost anything. Just a really high quality exhaust. Obviously, they're a bit up there as far as the price goes, but they're a full 3-inch, or maybe even 3.5. I'm not even sure, honestly. But I've had one on my previous cars, and I put one on here. I think it really also just hits the vibe as far as the 90s Japanese big single exit kind of deal there. So I really am happy with the Tomei exhaust on there. The downpipe obviously is just going to improve flow from the turbo. Same thing with the decat. Really just improving the flow there. Not much to talk about as far as that goes. RB25 turbo upgrade. I think if you can source one that's in good condition for a good price, it's honestly a pretty easy swap to do. Everything bolts right up, and while you're at it, you get to replace all those gaskets, make sure that everything's in check. It doesn't have like this huge bump of power that your mind kind of wants it to have from doing a turbo upgrade, but I think over the stock turbo, it definitely is nice. Granted, depending on what you're planning with your build and what goals you want to hit with it, it might not be the most practical choice. I also think it would really benefit from a tune. But anyways, before I get ahead of myself, coilovers I think are a great thing to do for any sort of project car. You're going to have way better handling. You'll be able to adjust your ride height. Really just kind of dial those things in, especially on an older car like this where your stock suspension is more than likely a bit blown out, a little loosey-goosey. It really just feels nice that you can have such sharp handling. The one thing that I might plan on doing either this winter or for the next upcoming season is changing my spring rates a little bit. I think I went a little aggressive with the spring rate, and then I also didn't do the Swift springs. So I'm thinking that's something that I'm going to get my hands on in the near future. Just kind of improve the ride quality a little bit. Wheels and tires, obviously, those are a staple in my mind. One, you're going to change the look of your car. You can fit different size tires, better tires, depending on what's on there right now. So that's just really something that's good for any kind of car you do. But now that we get a green light here, we can get into it a little bit on this somewhat curve. These cars handle great as is. They're very light, seem to have good weight distribution, and then you slap on some coilovers. You can obviously upgrade a lot of other suspension components and it'll be even better. But even just with the coilovers, having some better tires on there, a little bit wider, I mean, this thing really just it's such a fun car to drive all around, but you can really feel it when you're going down some spirited roads, just getting into it. The one thing about upgrading the turbo, and granted this could be improved with some other supporting mods or even a tune, is that you're going to notice that the spool time is a little delayed. You're not going to get in max power until 4.5, 5,000 RPM. So that's one thing to keep in mind for sure. But in my opinion, it's worth it. With the stock turbo, you kind of feel it fall on its face as you get closer to redline. And with the upgraded turbo, obviously it's going to have that boost all the way up to redline. It's just going to want to keep on going. So that's kind of where I am right now with it. But I do think if I could get a tune, and granted I need to weigh my options as far as, if I want to do just a chip tune, if I want to go standalone, all those different kinds of things. And, where I'm at right now in the build, I'm not sure if it's really worth it to go standalone. But, depending on what I get to and what I get done over this winter here, that could be something that's more in the realms of it. Future plans that I would like to do with the car, I would like to upgrade to a front mount intercooler. The side mount, if you've ever seen one, they're really tiny, really kind of tucked away. And then along with that, because obviously you need different intercooler piping, I would like to go forward-facing plenum, but you know, going with that kind of involves some more complications to the car. So it's really kind of weighing my options as far as where I want to go and what I want to do with the car. This thing really needs a new clutch in it, I can tell you that right off the bat. This clutch is losing life each time I drive it, for sure. So it needs a new clutch, and then obviously I'd go ahead and do all the fluids while I'm at it with that. Besides that, like I said, I'd like to get it tuned, so you know, maybe it's something where I do the intercooler and the plenum, and then from there I go ahead and get a tune on it one way or another. Granted, that's really just kind of power focused mods. Aesthetically, I would like to do some sort of body kit. I've looked at a couple different options that are out there. A lot of companies make a lot of different options out there, so really just have to look around and see what I want to do there. Honestly, even as it sits today, it's a fun car. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of power, but you don't need a whole lot of power in a car like this to have fun. Primarily being that they're just so light that you don't need that power to get you going. They really do just kind of start moving on their own. But you know, I'm keeping it fairly simple. I've been toying with the idea of going with a aftermarket steering wheel. Part of me wants to, part of me thinks that it's unnecessary, so we'll see what I end up deciding with that. We're kind of working against traffic today, unfortunately, so I can't really get too into it, but I think you kind of get the idea of how this thing just really surfs these corners. Point of this video is just kind of going over what's been done, how I feel about it, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. I'm really happy with what's been done to the car thus far, how it performs, how it handles. It's a lot of fun to drive, and I'm just excited to keep building this car, keep going, pushing for the next level, see what we can pull out of this thing. Not much more else to say. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. You know, we'll see if I crank out any more before first snow of the season, before this this old girl gets put away. But yeah. So let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know if you like the video. Let me know if you hate the video. Not much else more. So I will see y'all next time.